Disclaimer: do not, under any circumstances, harass, contact, or threaten anyone that appears or is mentioned in these videos. They serve for the purpose of archiving only, and I do not condone any of such actions or comments. You have been warned. Never touch the poop.
Hey YouTube, Andy here. So I am starting my day a little later than I like to because there's so much going on. I overslept. Nobody helped me wake up. Gotta find something to drink. I gotta take my pills. But anyways, I am starting my day. Overslept. I had a hard time waking up. I always do that. Yeah, my dog Tucker. He's the one who woke me up. My dad surprisingly has didn't come downstairs today, or even Joe to even try to help me wake up. I'm trying to find that frustrating for me because I need help waking up. It's frustrating when you sleep and you want to wake up and you just need that little extra help. So I'm going to be getting ready to take my pills. So give me a second to sort this fun stuff out. No, it's not fun stuff. Oh crap, I gotta get my sugar tested too. Now that I think of it too. Okay, great. Get that done. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I know I am. And I know my intentions today is to stick on routine. Yesterday kind of got off of it. Today is going to be routine day again, and like every day. And I also have Skyward storm spotting training session later this evening, which is awesome because I love weather. Weather is my love. Okay, there's that. I also have my autism social group, and then I also want to share with you that I plan on calling the police again, trying to get another report for the cyberbully crap. Okay, I'm going to express to you that I am uploading the call yesterday that I never got a call back, never got a car respond to me, so I don't know why. Okay, I will say that maybe it's best that Adam did not handle it because of conflict of interest. There's definitely that connection there. I'm just going to let you know there's definitely that connection between the police and me. I may actually end up taking a Lyft ride to New York State Police to complain about it. Matter of fact, that's where I'm going. Because that way there it doesn't have a conflict of interest. And I'm going to record it all. I'm not posting it on YouTube at all. Except for I'm doing it to only record them. But it does not get posted on YouTube. And the only reason why I'm going to state police is because I truly believe that City of Tonawanda Police thinks I'm faking my disability, and that is why I'm going to state police. I'm also not posting this video right away, so this could be a delayed post. The current date and time is Tuesday, April 25th at 12:50 p.m. or p.m. Alright, shut up, Tucker. Let me go upstairs and get Daddy to test my sugar. Chewy. Okay, I guess you don't have to go out. Okay, Google, turn on dining room.
Turning 4 lights on.
Okay, guys, so that's that. The frustrating thing I have about this is why let me ask you guys this question. What difference does it make if I have a disability or not? Like, what difference does it make to a police officer? Does that really make any sense there? What difference does it make what my diagnosis is to the City of Tonawanda Police Department? Because at the end of the day, I'm still Andy. I'm still Andy. And I'm still a person. And I feel that they don't want to. I don't get it. I really don't get it. They're not telling me everything. It's almost like they don't want to tell me what is being told and why. If that makes sense to you. So I found out that my mom was discharged from Adult Protective Services due to not wanting to continue services. It's what I found out from Mom. Because she didn't feel she was being mistreated by my dad. It's what Mom told me last night. I want you guys to know that. I don't know if that. Look, I'm not trying to paint my dad in a bad way. Okay? I think everybody has problems. I believe, personally, Mom has that right to choose, okay? But what Dad did caused Mom to lose her doctor and could have really affected her health. The more I'm starting to see this problem with my dad and their doctor, the more I'm starting to see this as it being not actually a bad thing that they have a new doctor or getting a new doctor. Because I feel that they should get a new doctor, because some of the things that they were complaining about, just, it doesn't seem like the doctor was, wanting to do certain things. It seems like they gave Mom, for example, Mom was given all these medications that she didn't need, that were causing her to fall, by her primary care doctor. Okay? My dad was given the wrong diabetes medicines and a blood pressure medicine that gave him a severe reaction. And Dad was told to keep taking it. You guys remember when I sent that text message? My dad complained about severe stomach cramps and explosive diarrhea. Well, that was likely from the metformin he was taking, because he always had that issue. My brother complained about having like a stomach bug, and my dad too. So my dad probably was dealing with both. And then you have another thing with my dad, okay? Since he stopped the metformin, he hasn't had that issue. Guys, I got arrested for something that I only sent a text message. And everybody thought I did something that I didn't even do. I made up a wild story, a fantasy tale story, that I don't know how the hell people would sit there and say to me that I poisoned them when what I said was just bizarre. It was like an author writing a story, that kind of thing. I was not being trying to be delusional. I was trying to sound smart to the people. So I had a purpose there. I also was trying to make fun of having to need diapers because I heard Dad say he put X-Lax in my stew. And he does that every time when he wants more food from me. Or I'm at more food and I eat less, right? And what happened is, understand the way I was thinking with this. I was being bullied by people by text message, harassed by Erica and Joanne and Tracy and Rose. Okay? And what I did was, I went on to tell my dad, or I went on to tell my dad and them a story, because what is X-Lax? A laxative, or at least I think it is. At least that's what my mom and dad always said. What do you usually do when you take X-Lax? You usually, or a late laxative, you usually go shit. What do I have issues with? Pooping myself. So I thought I would have a fun story to say. I put MGSO in your food stew last night. Enjoy shitting yourself. You may want to bring a diaper with you because you're doing newspapers. I had that fantasy of my family needing a diaper. Because how they make me feel about being in diapers. Okay? That's why I did that. I then said I put MGSO and nobody caught my mistake. MGSU4 is the technical abbreviation for magnesium sulfate. But these bullies of mine who were picking on me, calling me imbecile, stupid, fake, narcissism, and all this other stuff, hurt me to the point where I made up a story that I never did, but wanted to have a little fun with my disability. And wanted to sound smart at the same time. And I get arrested for a text message that everybody believed I put Epsom salt in the stew. Everyone, because my dad, because my family had the stomach flu at the same time, other than my mom. And how I got arrested for a text message. So guys, let what I did be a warning for people not to do, because sometimes people really don't believe that you didn't do something, and you may get arrested for something that you didn't do just because you said something. Just remember that you also have a First Amendment right, like what the court had decided as well. A right to be able to talk and tell a story rather than be criminally charged for it. That's basically what I did. I was writing a story, and then the police promised my dad that it would get me a group home, that I would go to mental health court for it, not jail. That there was no criminal charges. It'll get me placement. You have that in recording on YouTube. Of course, I edited it because I added some things to it. Some of the things that I added to it, between parts of the conversation. I should probably just upload a whole clean conversation of it without my voice being in there. And that way you guys can hear it all without having my input. But you guys can see that I was arrested because the police were trying to get me placement. Not that I did anything wrong. And the officer or a detective Warwick, who is now a lieutenant, for this reason probably, because he promised my dad it was not to get me arrested, it was to get me help and placement. Because he was making the diagnosis of me having schizophrenia. A police officer making the diagnosis of me. Yeah. Real good, isn't it? Let me ask you this question. Hi, Chewie. Hi. Good boy. Good boy. Let me ask you guys this question here. Now, let me just say this. I'm walking around because I don't care if you hear me or not. But I'm only talking to you on YouTube. Okay? I'm not going around trying to talk to myself or somebody in the room that's not here. I'm talking to my tablet. I don't care if you hear me or not. I'm not looking for entertainment. But I do have 2 dogs here, but they're not having a conversation with me because they don't talk to me. They're just animals. They don't talk. My tablet's not talking to me, and I'm not playing a video on my tablet. I'm talking directly to this tablet to you guys. If I was schizophrenic, I would be talking to somebody in my own head when nobody's around. Or maybe somebody's around me and I'm talking to somebody that's not even in the room. If I had that symptom, then you can sit there and say I have schizophrenia. But do you see how easily it is for my family to hear me talking to a recording device as like a journal, as a blog, of the same kind of conversation to upload to YouTube? Do you not see how that could confuse my family on things? Just because I'm talking to a recording device does not mean I'm talking to somebody. But the only people that will hear my voice and what I'm saying and my thoughts and my opinions and things of what I go through is the people who actually watch this recording or hear this recording. That is the situation, and I don't care who watches my recordings. I don't care who reads my emails. Yeah, I do care a little bit because I want help. But I don't really give a damn if you watch my videos or not. I don't want and it's not for entertainment. Yeah, it may be entertaining to you to bully me and deprive me of my rights and to call me a fake and then get others to call me fake because I upload it to YouTube. Let me express this to you in a very simple term way. You have all these police officers who claim that they come out 800 times, 900 times, okay, for the same thing. They claim there's nothing wrong, there's no abuse, no neglect, there's nothing. I'm the one who's the problem. They arrest me, no one else. Okay? Why? because they don't want me. They don't want to deal with me. Okay, great. Let me say this. So, I'm a City Town 1 resident, but I can't call the police when there's a need. But anyone else can. They don't care about what I go through. They're the reasons why the hospital sent me out. Let me pause this before my cereal goes. Okay. I have one piece of thing to say, but I'm gonna go finish. I'm gonna have to do some breakfast sausage so I don't have too much carbs. My sugar was a little high this morning. So, anyways, long story short is, so the cops have been saying over the course of 4 years, 5 years, that I'm not disabled, I'm not autistic, I'm faking. You heard the cops say all this crap. You never did this handstand. Just look at my YouTube video that I posted of all the comments that the police have called me out, called me fake. Just because 211 gives me a phone number or a friend to call, and then I get an extension number to somebody's extension, and I go typing it in my phone as a contact for that person and that phone number, does not mean that I know and memorize phone numbers like Officer Bentley just said. I'm not gonna lie, I do remember most of phone numbers, but I have to type it in a few times. Guys, this is what I'm trying to get at. I'm not as good as Rain Man, remembering everything that I see and read. And I'm not like Rain Man, because I have trouble reading. But according to the City of Tonawanda Police Department, expertise and their opinions of me, that I can cook. Just because I work at Wendy's or McDonald's, does not mean I know how to cook. It does not mean I am able to. And I would like you guys to realize this, that I had people who, how can I say this? I had people had helped me work, had helped me cook. Okay? I gotta find this is really hard for me to do. And then Dad should get mad at me because then I'm not gonna put this stuff back in the freezers. This stuff won't fit. I'm having a little bit of a sensory issue, so my hands are freezing. Give me a second. I had to go digging for the sausage. So anyways, long story short here is, I had all kinds of assistance to be able to work. Just because I have the ability to remember a recipe does not mean I can cook. That is... It does not mean I have the ability to cook just because I can remember things or recipes. Because I need supervision. And why I need supervision for? Because I have problems being safe while cooking. I have trouble understanding instructions. That is why I need supervision for. I need to be shown the recipe a few times. And I need somebody to watch over me. Because I have ticks and stims where I get hurt while cooking. That is why. Just because I had that at McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King does not mean that I am faking. I am not wanting to cook. I'm not able to because it's not safe for me without having somebody around me to help me. I'm not able to understand safety and what to do in case of emergency. I'm not able to use even the knowledge of how to stop a microwave if there's a fire in it, or what to do when there's a fire alarm. I'm not able to use that knowledge because I have a sensory impairment and the unexpected change of it happening. Because I have autism is why. I know how to respond to a fire alarm. I know how because people have worked with me on that skill for years, but I still need somebody to help me. That is a skill called knowing how to use and do the skill and understanding it, but does not have the ability to do it because of their disability, their limitations of their disability. And that's what the police department is trying to say, that because of my disability, I should be able, and my ability to remember things and talk, I should be able to respond to a fire alarm. I should be able to cross a street. I should be able to make phone calls to people to make the complaint. And I should know every resource or anything I'm looking for to make the complaint on the internet because I'm good at YouTube and Google searches. And they also seem to think that I know just because it's a complaint line doesn't mean I understand it's the right person or agency to complain to. They also expect me to know how to cook because I used to work at McDonald's and Wendy's, but I also had all this help. Oh, look who's home. Let me pause this real quick. Sorry guys, my brother just got home doing drone stuff. He does his insurance stuff and he had to reschedule a few today because it was windy and one of the areas had a little bit of rain. So anyways guys, I just want you to know that I was explaining to my brother what I was talking to you guys on this YouTube video. I had to go warm up my sausage again because it did not work very well. Well, anyways, guys, That's all I have for you today. It's that just because I know a skill or I can repeat the skill does not mean I understand it. I'm glad I was able to explain to Joe something. Let me get ready for my shower, and you're coming with me to hear me explain to you this situation that I explained to my brother. Oh, I forgot the shirt. Grab the shirt, put it down to grab a sock. Okay, I made a little mistake. I just started getting frustrated with myself there because my socks are in the same bin as my shirts, just on top of all my shirts. Went to grab my socks, and then I ended up having to put down my sock, or my shirt rather, so I can grab my socks, So I could, sort the sock out for the colors. Was Dad kind of gets upset with me when I wear a white sock and a black sock, or two different size white socks. So I wanted to make sure I didn't have that issue. Because there's times Dad says, "Are you wearing a sock? Why is there a sock on one foot and not the other?" I'm like, "Yes, Dad, I got the ankle sock on. I got a different size sock. I don't go around. I don't have the ability to respond to that in that time, but that's what I have." So anyways, if you guys want to know something, I explained something to my brother in a similar way that I learned in reading a book. The book title is 10 Things Every Child with Autism Wishes You Knew. Recommend it highly. Go read it. I have the book on Google. Hey Tucker, on Google Play, and I also have the book in paperback. Okay, in that book, it's talked about being able to the difference between won't, will not, which is the same thing as won't, do, and cannot do, or don't know how to. That is the same thing. Will not means it's a choice not to do. Cannot do is the opposite. It means you cannot do because you don't know how, or you're not physically able to do it. Whoa, dizzy. I got dizzy there. Okay, that was a time when my knee did not give out, but I almost fell because I got dizzy for some reason. Wow. People would have called me a fake. But thank God I did not fall, guys, because that would have really hurted. The bathtub was right there, and the shower chair. That would really hurt. It didn't help having my knee buckle at the same time of being dizzy, but that could have been just from the dizziness there. Okay, so anyways, guys, I want you guys to know that. That's where I learned this and how to put it, because there was something that was talked about how her son Bryson, the other son's Bryson, named Bryson, is able to ride a bus, and it's not a textbook math genius like somebody that was applying for adult services in her state, in one of the state offices that she was with. and talked about that person's son is a complete math whiz and textbook whiz, but is unable to dress himself, cook for himself, or ride a bus. And how the other son was able to learn how to ride a bus in 5 minutes and then did it by himself. So you can see there's a spectrum there. And she said just because somebody is able to learn things through what's called a gestalt learner, or whatever it's called, through visual sight words and stuff, does not mean that they're able to learn the simple life skills stuff, like her son Bryson is able to, who's also a gestalt learner, but has a different way of learning. She also explained how that simple thing can be a struggle for people with autism because you also have the sensory issues. And just because somebody cannot use public transportation because they have a sensory limitation, she talked about how the disability of having a sensory impairment is not a physical or mental issue of knowing the skill or not. So I was able to explain to Joe that will not and cannot are two different things. And I pointed out in a similar way to Joe. Joe, have you ever noticed when I go testing my blood sugar, how I know how to change the pen needle? I do that by myself. I know how to cock the pen. I know how to push the button. I know how to put the test strip in for Dad. And I do all of that. The only thing I need Dad's help for is pushing the button and pricking my finger because of the sensory input of the pain I'm in when it does that. That is why I cannot do that on my own. And I told that to Joe. You know what Joe said? I did not realize that. I said, yeah, I know how to do the task, okay, because Mom shows me over and over again that each time she does that with me, she goes over the steps of doing it, okay, and I go doing it every single day. The thing is, I know how to do it, I understand the task, but I physically cannot poke my finger. And you guys are going to be like, well, you can hit your head. How can you do that? There's a difference. I'm in a meltdown. I don't know what I'm doing. And some people in meltdowns, from what I understand, will do that to kind of like take away their anxiety or their sensory stimulation out, but on something else to distract them, their emotions onto something else. It's the same reason why it's called a stim. But it's a self-injury stim. Guys, that is what I'm trying to get at here. Just because you think I can do something because I can repeat this, it took me... Now, let me just say this. I read that book in 2020. On my audiobook, one of my audiobooks that I have on Google, okay? And I read that book, and today's 2023. It took me that long to be able to word that to people, because this is the first time I'm actually explaining this to my brother or anyone. If it was not for that book, I would not be able to express people more things about my autism. Granted, everybody accuses me for looking up autism to fake, but in reality, it's helping me to be able to express my day-to-day life, how I see my world around me, and nobody gives a damn to listen to me because it's me who experiences this stuff, and it's not you, and you don't know what it's like until you have a disabled son who goes through the same struggles. And maybe you don't even care about your disabled autistic son. So you will do this to people like me and your own son. So you don't care about people. And that son is going to get no help. And I'm just frustrated because you think I'm faking this shit. But you're not listening to me. And then you try saying, oh, you're schizophrenic. Well, even if I was schizophrenic and I was trying to tell you this shit is real, you would be saying, oh, gee, that's fantasy. Well, what do you think you're doing to me? I experience the same sensory input as you do, and I get overwhelmed by it. It's not like it's made up shit because when there's a train horn going by or a power outage or, that kind of stuff, you have to deal with it too if you're around me. So, just because it don't bother you does not mean it doesn't bother me. And this is where you guys are not listening to me. Is you want to believe your fixated delusion that I'm faking. I'm not faking. And if I'm faking, like you claim I am, then why am I not on mental health medication for delusional behavior and thinking? Answer that one. Another skill is here. Guys, just because I have picture steps to how to brush my teeth does not mean I really understand the task. And I'm really not able to do it for two reasons. Because I really need somebody to work with me and show me the right way of doing that skill. But I don't have that help. Nobody's ever worked with me on that skill. Instead, they put special clear plastic coat on my teeth as a child and dentist visits every month. And then allow me to just try and hope I'll do it. That's what happened there. I can't do it because nobody worked with me on that skill. And I really don't know what to do with that skill. And I need somebody to work with me on that. Like they saw that at Millfield Suburban Hospital. They worked with me on that skill. I still need help learning because they taught me something that I didn't know before that nobody did, and then nobody worked with me on that skill, how to desensitize my teeth. And then I'm stuck because I forgot how to do that because I didn't get the help from the nurses with that. So I'm sorry, guys. You guys think it's a choice. It's not. You're the one who's not helping me with the skills that you want me to do. And then you arrest me for the same skills that you want me to do. But it's like you do the skill, but if you use the skill, I'll criticize you and get you and hold you accountable for doing what I want. It's like you can't do that. You want me to use the coping skills? You can't get me in trouble. You can't be mad at me or punish me for doing what you want me to do. You want me to do this, then you can't do it. Tell me you can't. Don't want to help me. so I can follow what you want me to do. Like what my dad was doing for a very long time. He wants me to clean, he wants me to do things on my own. But he did not give me the tools to help me. And so just recently, I feel personally, maybe on YouTube, showed people that, hey, Dad is I feel Dad is being forced to doing something because people got onto him and got him to where he feels like he has to do it. Guys, I'm sorry. Just because I have picture steps of taking a shower or brushing my teeth, I can't do it because of my sensory issue. And I also need somebody to work with me on that skill. And I don't think people will ever realize that or give a fuck. Okay, showering. I have shower steps right here. I actually have it right in front of me. And, you know what? I don't remember if I washed my face or not. I think I did. I'll go back doing it again in a second. But I have this to remember if I do something or not. But guys, I think I did wash my face, but I'm going to do it again. But I do have fine motor skills and coordination and judgment of where my body is around me. So I have a hard time wiping myself or washing my body because of my coordination issue and fine motor skills. That does not mean I know how to do the task. That just means I am somebody who needs to be reminded of step by step. If you notice, the shower is not running in my face while doing this. Why did I turn it off for a second for? Well, because I found out it's easier for me to cope with being able to wash my body with the water off so it's not hitting my body, because that feels like uncomfortable to me. That's why. Okay? But I still have problems washing my crack and my, in my, between my legs and toes, and then my back. I have that problem. But it doesn't mean I can't do it or don't know how. I can't do it because of my fine motor skills. I can't do it because of my sensory input. Because that impairs my ability to think what I'm doing. Because I do this every single day this way, allows me to be able to do the skill almost without looking at the step by step. So the repetition of doing it in a certain way, because I didn't have this consistent environment for several years, so I did not shower like I would do before. Okay? Remember, I was in and out of different hotels. I was in and out of the hospital. I was in and out of the living on the streets with no shower. So you gotta realize, guys, when you go through that much change, you may have forgotten the skill that you knew how to do. And you think I'm mentally ill because I at least took a shower, but I struggled doing it. With all the fucking change. At least I tried taking a shower anytime I pooped my fucking diaper. Give me a fucking break. Here's another task I'd like to tell you. Well, after I get done with this, I'll go doing this, and this is the last thing I'll be doing when I get done with my day-to-day routine here for you guys to see me doing. I'm going to do other things in my routine, but you'll be able to see me do this live, what I do and how I go about doing it, and this is the way I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you an example of what cannot and will not do means. But I have to get out of the shower to do it because I'm going to show you. It'll be easier if I show you what I'm trying to tell you, and then be able to use my words for this. This is something I may be able to use my words, but I want to show you as well. I mean, you guys also remember what was it, last week or something? Was the last time I used mouthwash. Because 3 days in a row, two of them, 2 days in a row of the 3 that I was recording and I choked. Remember? Because I had tick, or I went down the wrong throat away. 3 days in a row. You guys only knew about it 2 days in a row. Because I only recorded 2 days in a row, not the first one. I got scared of using my mouthwash because of that. Now that my tics kind of subsided, I think I can go about doing it. But I'm just letting you guys know that just because I know the skill does not mean I can do it. Because you forgot, you can't see what I am seeing crossing the street. You can't be able to hear how bright, how loud the traffic is. And you cannot see how bright crossing the street is for me. And all the distractions and everything around me that I have a really hard time being aware of one thing and then having to look at another thing and then having to process that. You guys forget that. And this is something that you guys think I'm doing it for a fucking joke. You try to think I'm tricking the system. You guys are a failure for doing this. You failed me. You are the doctors and professionals, not me. I plan on trying to look, by the way, because my book, 10 Things Every Child with Autism Wishes You Knew, is audio, right? I do have the actual paper copy of that book, but I have a hard time reading to find that page when talking about this, because it's not where I can understand it, you know? I will try to find the words to it. And I will make a copy of that to show idiots what I'm going through. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Fuck. That is not good. I had no awareness I was peeing, and I really had a flood in front of me. I'm gonna try to finish. Okay. I had a big mess. That was a big pee. Oh shit. It's everywhere. Fuck. Turning around. I hope I didn't get my shirt and shorts wet. Because that was just clean. And that's sitting right there. So I turned around because I was rinsing my mouth out. I just got done rinsing my mouth and fucking pee. I'm like, oh my god, I can't even go to the brush my teeth without having that accident. And let me save my shorts. Yep. That is wet. I thought so. I have more shorts or shirt and pants out there. Even my fucking shirt got wet. Oh. God, why me? Why me? Hang on. Diaper. This throws my entire thing off. Hey guys, if you want to look at... I'm not even going to... You know what? It's not for you to know. It's not show and tell. I don't care. If you don't believe me or not, you don't have to. But just know that if a large bath towel had to absorb that much pee, because I had to wipe it up. I'm sorry that I had that issue. I could have kept going. If I was really being deliberate and doing it on purpose, why did I finish in the toilet for? Can you answer that one? I'm not doing it on purpose. And I don't appreciate having to go out, get whole new clothes after I just did that hard work. I don't appreciate the change because now it takes away my ability to function, to get dressed. It takes away the steps that I normally do. So why would I purposely try to cause a change if I did that on purpose? Ask your fucking selves that. Because I don't think I would purposely want to get upset because I absolutely hate change just to prove a point that I'm caught in it. I have to try to protect myself because some people will never change their minds. And I'm not trying to change your mind, but you sometimes make it where other people will think I'm faking when I am not. And I don't appreciate you doing that. And I don't want to be mistreated because of that. It's not a reason to mistreat me. It's even more of a reason for you to evaluate me. Let me just put it this way. Now I have a piece of paper from Univera that says Buffalo General Hospital failed to evaluate me and listen to the situation that I am in. And by the way, I plan on calling my Univera worker who's working with me on these investigations. So you know, first time I have been aware of their medical director getting involved. It must be that bad to have a Medicare insurance medical director involved in an investigation of a hospital. That has to say something. You know what? I'm not putting that on YouTube. You know why I'm not putting that on YouTube? It's not for YouTube. I am not trying to catch you in a trap of to take you to court or anything. The reason why I record you for is because I have been told I lie. Nobody believes me. For example, I plan on calling my adult protective service worker as well on this. And I'm going to talk to him about, hey, Henry, you guys in past said I lie about my disability and stuff. You guys didn't believe my limitations. And you think I'm purposely manipulating the system. Well, here, my insurance had evaluated this as a reason of concern here. How can you sit here and tell me that I'm being evaluated properly and that I should have been placed in a group home based on the information that I submitted is different from the information that they submitted to my insurance? See how it plays a huge role in having the medical information in front of me? I plan on updating my complaint with my insurance and saying, hey, I don't think I did that last night when I sent the email, but this will go to my insurance and me only. Hey, I brought in my speech assessment, auditory processing assessment, my cognitive, capacity assessment, my DSS record, my few OPWD notices, my OT assessments that shows that I have a hard time with my medications and stuff. Here, I'll show you that part in a second. And I also showed them that, what was the other part? I also showed them that I have sensory impairments and things like that from other hospitals that they failed to evaluate. Guess what? They failed me. And I won the case. I'm so glad I have people on my side. I'll see you in part 2 here.
If you like what you see here, consider becoming a member of the channel, where you'll have access to not only this, but 3 other emotes to make fun of the creature, as well as member-exclusive time lapses on how they were made. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe to help expose the creature. And remember, Andrew Ditch fakes autism.